Welcome, everybody. Here we are live. It's the Frankly Fabulous Experience live from Frankly Fabulous Plaza here, Meatpacking District, Chelsea. What Chelsea Village, home of Sex and the City, home of Carrie, Bradshaw, Samantha. The other ones, I'm not sure. I need to reinvestigate it. We're here to explore the issues. We're here to check email. Thought I'd throw in a live stream since I'm out here. Brought out the big guns, the big mic. Beautiful day. It's like California here in New York City. That's my weather report for today. We're starting on 87%. It's 1:13 p.m. Friday, May 14th, 2021. The world was just exploding with joy and freedom and release, lack of pressure. The apocalypse is real. We've seen it. We've tasted it. We're going to live our lives. The stakes are too high. I think it's going to be 75, high as 75. As you can see, there's some nice clouds here in these windows. Beautiful, beautiful sky. It's like a California day today in New York. Feels like we're in LA. Even though we're in sunny meatpacking coast here. Experiencing the ambiance. Even if you don't like what I have to say, you can just kind of enjoy the slice of life, kind of natural. It's an ambient YouTube stream. It's like an environmental, like this is a room. If you just want to hang out in Frankly Fabulous Plaza. Someday there will be a statue of me on this very spot. Frankly Fabulous, the man who saved the world. The person. The dude who saved the world. Just at the top of the show, I wanted to point out one of my favorite things in culture. Just talk about a few little vocal things that are going on. One of my favorite things people say, I love that for you. Yes, I love that for you. Oh, yeah, you're doing X, Y, Z. Love that for you. Yes. But I think that's a great expression. Whoever came up with that. I'm just fascinated. Like the internet is just kind of intensifying something that like people already kind of do, where there's kind of phrases that stick out. Twitter's really good at that. Twitter's really good at phrasing things in a very natural way that like it'd be easy to overlook, but are sort of cliches, or they're something we're all aware of. Great. Love that for you. The other thing, this one really annoys me. I've been hearing people do this for a few years. Oh, so good. Oh, it's so good. People who say, oh, it's so good. They like accentuate the O part of the so good. Oh my God, so good. That's how they describe everything. I get it. I don't know. It's kind of sensuous. It's kind of oral. It's like filleting the praise. Oh, it's so good. Great. Love that for you. This is just another verbal kind of meme that's caught on in the culture. What was the other one? Oh, this is not so much a verbal meme. This is just shit I had on my outline that I want to get to. I'm just covering this stuff fast. It's only been 4 minutes. I got to get rid of the beard. With the mask, it looks kind of cool, but I don't know. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. Need a new look. This is all, this hair is all from 2017 to present. So I just need to start over, definitely, karmically, with the follicles and whatnot. Love that for you. Then, okay, so the other thing that kind of annoyed me, I don't hear this, but when I was at home, I heard a lot. Oh, he's not a bad guy. He's not. Anytime somebody says, "Oh, he's not a bad guy," he's not a bad guy. He's chances. That's a definite red flag, and that's a definite indication that whoever they're talking about is a complete piece of shit and a completely evil person to avoid it all. Oh, he's not a bad guy. My mom said this constantly about people. Oh, McConnell, he's not a bad guy. Pence is not a bad guy. We all hate Trump. We hate Trump, but Pence, he's not a bad guy. Mitch McConnell, he's not a bad guy. It's like, yes, they are. They're by definition. She referred to her ex-husband. Oh, he's not a bad guy. It's like, yeah, he's kind of just a douche. He is a bad guy. Like, let's just call it like we see it. Like, oh, he's not a bad. We don't have to be fair to these people. Like, McConnell is a bad person. He's totally fucking ruined our government. He's a bad person, definitely. If there ever was one. Mitch McConnell, Mike Pence, these are bad people. They're bad guys. It's not worth, that's one of the things that's just been so refreshing about the post-Trump era. He just disappeared. There's this kind of tacit agreement. Like, no, let's not even talk about him. Fuck him. Like, let's not dwell on the past. Let's move on as fast as possible. I feel like I need to switch my position right here. I need to get out in the sun a little bit more. Just good vibes, it's all good. This is just, look at all these NYPD cars. They heard Frankly Fabulous is broadcasting. They had to come out and fucking censor my ass. Trying to shut me down, but they never will. I gotta be out here telling the truth. Hold on. Let me readjusting. Just a quick. Oh yeah. That's not really any better. Oh well. He's not a bad guy. Yeah, so here we are, beautiful day. Jesus Christ, I'm uploading a show right now. It's premiering tomorrow night. It was a really good sesh from last night. I filmed it, so I'm trying to get more content up there for the people. Do people watch old live streams? I don't think so. I don't even watch old live streams, but this is adding to the library. These live streams are meant to be like an encyclopedic look at our current moment, our weekly play-by-play, and then the bigger issues. This is the Uber novel. Should I tell a personal story today? Should I talk about big picture? Apparently, I always trash Elon Musk. It's one of my favorite things to do. But what is it? Tesla divested from Bitcoin. They said, I think it's because of his SNL appearance. I think he feels like he understands that he's supposed to be ashamed, and he kind of feels bad that people don't like him or something. And what was it? Dogecoin plunged 20% as a result of his SNL appearance. So now he plummeted the Bitcoin stock. Way to go. Good for him. If we just keep shaming him, is he going to kill all the crypto shit? Because let's have him host. What can we have him do next? Put him in a movie. Put him in a Seth Rogen movie, or let's tank this crypto. So I don't know. I'm sure there's some kind of bigger picture. I was reading a little bit. I did a little brief Twitter research about Bitcoin, and supposedly the thing that takes up all the bandwidth is like it's just insane because, okay, it's this huge industry is Bitcoin mining. And the thing that it reminds me of the most is like fucking World of Warcraft. The way that people did like mining in that for like whatever the fuck it was, mana or experience points. What was the shit that everybody was mining for in World of Warcraft. It was like literally these were people's jobs. They would work like, there were sweatshops where these people would be working 80 hours a week, like in World of Warcraft on a fucking computer, like mining whatever the goddamn fake imaginary currency of that goddamn game is. Real money. It's a real industry. They said Bitcoin, it takes 0.5% or was it 0.05% of all the world's power. They tried to make it sound like a reasonable amount of power, like, oh, it doesn't use as much power as New York City does, or it's like it's imaginary. So the thing that requires the power, I guess, is like the verification. There's some kind of like question or some kind of like interaction the fucking needs to do with the fucking blah 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 to like verify that the it's just insane. It's fucking stupid as hell. And the idea that there even is like Bitcoin mining is totally fucking nuts. Like this is a real industry. There are people that's their job to go in and find. I just don't get it. It's like, what, Bitcoin is just out there kind of randomly in the internet or something? Like, what? It's fake. It's not real. It's not like finding gold or... I mean, I guess it's real in the same way that those things are real in our meat space paradigm. But I don't live in the internet, even though I'm saying this through the internet and I'm live streaming. I am technically, spending a lot of time and effort. I mean, I guess is there better things I could be doing? I'm kind of altered. I've been settling into my place, so I feel good. I should feel good. This is problem about our productivity mad society is like you never feel unless you're every day you're coming up with something to accomplish, unless you're crossing things off the to-do list. And how satisfying is it to do that? I mean, it feels so great, right? Crossing off moving of my to-do list was like, holy shit. It was a huge victory. I have a few more major things I have to do. I have some teeth problems I gotta get fixed. That'll be a big one. Passport renewed. Gotta get my passport renewed. Gotta get the internet set up at my house. So there's always more to do. Those are not really the things I like feeling productive about. The things I like feeling productive about are artistic pursuits, writing, reading. I drain a lot of days away languishing in Margaritaville, slipping and sliding, just waxing poetic and sort of lazy. I mean, I'm not even productive when it comes to that. My work philosophy is to do it all the time, but like ensure that your output remains pure. I try not to force anything. That's a big difference. I try to just let things happen when they want to happen and accept them as they come. And certain things like moving, that's like such a huge psychological and like physical hurdle that it takes me like a few weeks to like wind up and get the run up to jump that, and I don't know, but it's so beautiful out now. I'm like, Jesus Christ, maybe I should have done this moving during the winter because I'm unpacking stuff. I got to go through clothes. It's like that would have been perfect stuff to do when I was inside, when the weather wasn't so good, when I wasn't vaccinated. Now it's like the weather's beautiful, waxed, ready for action, and I'm having to spend time inside, unpacking. It's not that bad, but it's like that's something that I could really have ruminated on. You know, I'm unpacking shit from like 4 or 5 years ago. So like it's a trip to go through these old journals or diaries or drawings. I was looking at some of my drawings. I want to publish this notebook as like a little book. It's got a lot of cool little like kind of narrative things. I was using colored pencils. That stuff looks good. It's got a lot of stuff from my relationship. So I was staying productive. It's kind of an interesting fragmented portrayal of a time. It's like a scrapbook. So I want to publish that. I want to scan that. And, you know, I haven't seen this stuff in a few years. So it's like I got a lot of writing. I was looking through some stuff I had typed up in like 2018. It's like that could have been a book. It's all pretty fucking interesting. I was on kind of a good kick there, 2018, 2019. When I went back to Ohio, my stuff became more literal, simple, declarative, legible. I was really going wild in 2018. Got my books back, so all that context, all that texture, it's kind of reinscribing itself and reattaching to that. You know, it's still there. I can find my way back into that. It's all new. Everything's new. It's 2021. I'm 36 years old. Got one life to live, and this is it. I don't know. You feel like this is, you know, you wonder what it would have been like to be born at different times. But I also feel like we were born at all times. Like we're constantly reincarnating. So I do think we lived through various societies of the past. I think that is time travel, actually. We're time traveling forward at 1 second per second at all times. And we live through all of history through reincarnation. It's like quantum leap. You never know where you're going to respawn. And maybe everybody gets to be everybody else at one point or another. Maybe we just switch identities. This looks interesting. This guy's spray painted in like a full body cast type suit. Oh, there's a guy with golf clubs. Maybe I'll just narrate what I see. That'll be my window poem of we're the king of beefs at Homestead Steakhouse, New York's oldest, Est 1868. And then there's Death by Pizza. I think they went out of business. They were killed by pizza. They died by pizza. Yeah, here he goes. Hold on, I gotta get a shot of this. You see that guy? What the fuck was I talking about? Yes, I'm processing all my possessions, spending time doing that. But I also need to get out. Like yesterday, I went on this whole kind of long walk, the odyssey of the day, out into the world. Did a loop, circled back. I was out for like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 hours. I'm drawn to outside. I'm drawn to the public square. I want my work. This, you know, living on the island, I can really inject myself into the flaneur role. I just step out my door, and all of a sudden, I'm in, you know, the Rialto. I'm along the Strand. I'm in the midst of it. I don't even have to get on the train ever. Oh, I need to check on my bike. I changed it to like a fucking scaffold. It might be long gone by now. I keep forgetting to check on it. I don't know. Do we need to talk about news bullshit? Well, the CDC, okay, you don't notice I'm not wearing my mask. The new thing, everybody got a fucking notification yesterday afternoon at like 3. CDC says if you're fully vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask in most situations, outdoors, and I think it even said indoors. I think that was a bad to like blanket, text every fucking person in the, with a cell phone conceivably that they don't have to wear masks, especially for these dumb motherfuckers, out in the red states who aren't vaccinated. They're going to think, well, I don't need to wear a mask anymore. The thing is, if you're vaccinated, you're mostly safe. You're way more safe if you're vaccinated. If you're unvaccinated, then you get coronavirus. Your risk, your danger is way, way, way higher. In Ohio, I heard, my home state, they're randomly giving 5 different people $1 million if they get the vaccine as a way to, encourage people to get it. It's like the lotto. Get the vaccine, you might win $1 million. It tells you everything you need to know about the mindset. Like, oh, I wasn't going to get the vaccine, but if you pay me, or if there's an incredibly small chance, everything's a lotto. It's just lotto mentality. Like, that's your only hope. If you're a fucking poor ass fucking person, in the Midwest, just like, what else could possibly happen? You got to hit the fucking lotto. You'll get rich and your problems are solved. Lotto commercials. When I was auditioning for shit in Columbus, Ohio, most of the jobs were like lottery commercials, advertising the fucking Powerball or whatever. Well, they don't have Powerball there. It's, I don't remember, but we don't really need to go into. I mean, lotto culture. It's a tax on the poor. It's just like the American dream in a immediately worthless, silvery, kind of tinsely. It's like wrapping paper, scratch offs. It's kind of an animalistic, like you're a squirrel or a cat or something. It's a scratch post. But it's mystical. It's like a fucking tarot card or a playing card. Sort of a gambling. There's chance. There's that element of your fate could be, a wand could be waved over your life and everything could change. Like Cinderella. That's like the most American fairy tale, maybe. She has to work her ass off. All her sisters party and she's in the service class. But she gets a makeover. And she gets to be, rich and fabulous for one night before everything turns into a pumpkin. Most of us, we're just pumpkins. We never even get to be, I don't know. I think I've been in a limo like once in my life. Literally, the only time I was in a limo was at my Uncle Jack's funeral. I think I was 5 years old. It's the only time I've ever been in a limousine in my entire life. How fucking insane. I don't know. What are the other issues of the day? The apocalypse seems to be like this acknowledged thing, and people are just sort of like partying and having fun with it. And a lot of the media I'm seeing, the post-pandemic art and whatnot, is very like, yeah, there's an impending, mass extinction coming. We acknowledge that. That's one of the terms. Here comes another guy with golf clubs. You're killing the planet with your TaylorMade and your Max Fly. You're killing the planet. For what? For bullshit. Yeah, so okay, the CDC, they they've fucked up their messaging so much throughout this whole thing. I mean, early on it was like, don't wear masks because we need the PPE, right? And then everybody should wear masks. Then they couldn't get people to wear masks at all. So they've got to understand that, like, when they throw something out there, now they've told people they don't need to wear masks. They can't go back on that. And to be honest, it just seems a little premature. And it's like, why jump the gun on that? Nobody was really expecting, as far as I can tell, nobody was really expecting, like, oh man, can we take these fucking masks off? Like, I got my vaccine, like, let's go. I think people were ready to wear the masks until, I don't know, probably through the fall and winter of next year, maybe. I know a lot of people that don't want to take them off. And they'll probably, a lot of people will probably continue to wear them for the rest of their lives. I mean, like, it's nice to have not gotten sick since February 2020. That's over a year. That's in a year and 3 months. Do we need to get sick for our immune systems to remain strong? I don't know. Does the mask like make us weaker because it's preventing our immune system from needing to fight things off? I would continue to wear it, and now I'm gonna shave. It'll be easier fitting it under all this beard. Not that easy. I got to do something about my hair. If anybody out there, God, how am I going to become an influencer? It just seems like, I guess I'm on the wrong app. I'm doing this wrong. This is not the content that people desire, I suppose. It's food for thought. Just putting all the ideas out there. Take the ones you want. Maybe something random I say will trigger something meaningful in your own mind and experience. And also combining things and a free. Here's an interesting thing I heard. Pierre Jory in his book Nomad Poetics, he was talking about, this term organic. A lot of times it's used to describe something that's like free growing, or as if it lacked a rigid structure. Like, this is not organic. This is like very premeditated and it's right angles. Organic is like the tree, the fucking, bushes. So when things, I use it a lot. Oh, we want things to happen organically, meaning just let them happen, let them grow. Don't build them. Don't force them into shape. Let them happen. Let them find their own shape. But Pierre Jory was talking about, as if the people use this phrase as if organic forms don't have structure. What could have more structure than nature? I think when you take it under the microscope and you really analyze it, DNA thing, think about the structure of DNA and how exact that is. Double helix, the proteins, the way they are complementary and how they build ribosomes or whatever the fuck it is. trees, you know, they're made of these incredibly intricate, incredibly, you know, microscopic structures, formal structures. So I think that that's kind of an interesting, you know, nature, once again, I think is the model for everything. And the idea that within the kind of, I don't know, shapeliness and originality and, you know, asymmetry of the full being, the plant, the tree, the flower, whatever, within that, you know, within the petal, within the stem. I mean, even animals, you know, within that are these incredibly complicated, incredibly uh, formal, and they are kind of, you know, they're not rigid, but like they are kind of mathematically balanced. There's dualities or parallels or it's not just like a scribble, you know. It's not just when you look at life, particularly early forms of life, it can seem chaotic. Nature can seem chaotic. The jungle can seem chaotic. The forest can seem chaotic and formless. So it's interesting. It works on these two levels. It works on, you know, the microscopic level. It is uh, it's, you know, there's symmetries, there's balance, there's stacks. It's almost like bricks, you know, not exactly bricks, but there's trees of, you know, of spore and, you know, things kind of ramp off, and it is almost like looking at a circuit board or some kind of really geometrically harmonized man-made design almost. If you really look at the, you know, I mean, even atoms or molecules, they're like little solar systems. They're like little machines. There's a perfection to the design. It's almost like an invention, you know, the way that the molecules combine and hook together through these complementary, they form compounds, and that's almost like Legos or fucking some kind of like mechanical, functional structure. It isn't just purely throwing paint at the fucking canvas in a random kind of spatter or whatever. So I don't know. I think, you know, when looking at one's own like work, that might be an interesting kind of model, you know, as opposed to having something with the outward appearance of something machine made, like a building, or vice versa. You know, how can you take something that looks like this with outward appearances and fill it with wild, kind of squirmy, inspired, funky, kind of germ, mossy, bacterial, kind of psychedelic content, but also, you know, especially when designing large systems, you know, I think this is something that's fun for everybody to get into sooner or later in their own artistic process. A lot of poets, you know, they get into book length works at a certain point, and their works become, you know, every book becomes its own form, its own kind of mega structure, but there's little structures within that, you know. That's kind of how nature systems work. You know, the tree is made up of millions and billions of smaller, just like the poem is made up of words, of letters, syllables, sentences, stanzas. The tree is made up of molecules, sap, I don't know, compounds, carbon dioxide, vascular systems, like veins, roots. It's like a body, except it's made of wood. If you really open the tree up, it looks like muscles, kind of. Uh, it looks like a fucking arm or a bicep or a leg. It's like Pinocchio. And so, you make things sentence by sentence. You make them word by word. You make them brushstroke by brushstroke, or post by post, moment by moment. And sooner or later, you figure, how can I put this into a bigger thing? How can I combine these smaller things, which are my natural tendency, and build them to a larger structure? I don't know. That's kind of what nature did, right? Or how the fuck did it figure? I mean, it took billions of years. The procreation, the intercourse of the different structures created new structures. I think that's what art is about. Music, poetry. You see what other people do. You see the way their pages look, and you say, "Oh, okay, I'm going to try that." Nature does that. Animals imitate other animals. Flying fish. So with this, my opus of YouTube live streams, which they never age, even though they're very current, they're eternally present and eternally of the now. You could watch these 1,000 years from now, and they'll make perfect sense. They'll make even more sense than they do now. They're absolutely so solidly constructed. The craftsmanship of nature, the craftspersonship of nature. It's interesting because it's integrated in a way that man-made stuff. Man-made stuff is separate. It's bricks, it's mortar, it's nails, it's wood, it's drywall. Your flesh is all connected in a different, it feels fused in a way. Man-made things feel separate. You can kind of pull the materials apart. So I don't know. I mean, with my own approach to things, I would say I use the organic method as a way to justify just sort of randomly just Hail Marying things willy-nilly and hoping that they achieve, competence. Like when I was on the golf team in high school, the way that I would hit my driver, I just tee it up as high as I fucking possibly could. It was like a baseball. I hit it like a baseball. It was almost like a tee off of a fucking tee ball or whatever. And I'd put it outside my left foot, way in front, almost like Happy Gilmore, like I'm running at the fucking thing. And I'd cock it, I'd lock it, and I'd just hit it I'd swing as hard as I fucking could. My method was just haymaker and Hail Mary and just wind up and just throw the fuck out of it. That's organic. I don't know. That's kind of the way I still do things. I just kind of let them drip or whatever. And I try to collect them into forms. But there is some intent to make the form look, once again, if you look at the way that nature looks, it's not rigid, it's not right angles, it's not stacks, it's not squares, it's not boxes. I mean, nature in a certain way may even be incapable. Like, is there a perfect square anywhere in nature? I'm not sure. There probably is, I suppose. But natural organic forms to the eye are tumultuous, they're round, they're curving, they're torrid, they're torrential. They just pour bounties of bevies of fucking ivy or nature grass. What are those things? Goat ears, or what's that? That one leaf that looks like a goat ear or whatever. They just totally pour out. It's rampant. It's a clutter. It's a horde. It's not minimalist. It's not streamlined. It's not reduced. That's how it's trying to overcome death, overcome mortality, population. And so, I don't know, that I do kind of look to that, like my face, the kind of Whitman-esque tumult. I do kind of look to that. I do kind of trust hairier forms, wilder forms, a wild tangle. That feels more organic. That feels more natural. The bounty of that, that feels like a good model. I don't know. In the city, your eye sees different stuff. You see buildings. You see, maybe I'll move to this chair. See something different. And so you imitate those forms. You imitate the buildings. You imitate the right angles. God, I'm just waiting for these cops to leave so I can smoke this fucking weed. I don't know. All these cops started to hang out in the Frankly Fabulous Plaza. It's very unfabulous. But it's legal, but I don't really want to push my luck. That's the thing, Down here by the Starbucks Reserve. What up? Starbucks Reserve Roastery. I'm going to order my PA. I'm finally going to fucking get on Amazon, order the shit that I need. We've got a little Halo action going on here. That's cool. It's good for the aura. It's cool. It's like CGI. We got some effects. Maybe I'll just split my fucking look here. All right, they're leaving. They're traffic cops, so they don't really give a shit. But like, I don't want to push my luck. Gosh, what else? I should have brought a newspaper or something. Should I check Twitter real fast? I talk about it enough. Here comes a yellow school bus. There goes a windowless van. Okay, well, those cops are leaving, but there's still a big NYPD car. City bikes. I cannot believe how many people use fucking City Bike, man. And I can't believe City Bike gets all this fucking free advertising. And people like City Bike. It's like they put them everywhere. They fucking clog up the streets. They're ugly as hell. They're like heavy. They're not like agile bikes or like they're steel. They're like totally corporate. It's totally like a Verhoeven, like RoboCop, like Cyberdyne, the dystopia, the cyber dystopia. Our world is sort of contorting and being torn between two polarities: the crypto, digital, NFT, virtual utopia of the super rich, super comfortable, and super unempathetic. They were already not empathetic. The Asperger's, the spectrum people, they already suffer from a lack of empathy. Add incredible wealth and comfort to that, and that's why our society is full of filthy, filthy poor people like myself, just out here completely dirtying and sullying the public plazas. It's my job. It's my job to get out here and be little Charlie Chaplin, homeless person. No, I mean not. I'm my spiritual allegiance and my sympathy and my total, you know, solidarity is with street people and with homeless people. Absolutely. You know, like to live outside of society. How many people are doing that? You know, and like it's an easy precipice and table to fall off of, I imagine. So I don't know. I've always felt somebody said something the other day about poets are spies. They feel like a spy. Writers are spies. And I was thinking about my first notepad, that whodunit notepad from the crime scene exhibit at COSI. That was kind of a spy, writing things down, going out observing things, walking out into the metropolis. I feel like I'm trying to catch things, trying to catch bits of dialogue, trying to see the culture. I'm trying to read the assembling and kind of coming into being and like summoning of cultural trends, social patterns, reading, how the world changes. And it always changes. The changes that we're going through feel absurd and kind of pitiful. The way the world is being shrunk down into just this pathetic meme machine. Everything is being scaled down, captured, streamed, posted, momented, tweeted. The box, the Instagram box, the status update box, the tweet box, the email inbox. Why not, man? I need to get a better phone and start to Instagram the fuck out of my life. I think you can use your personal life as content, and like you can use posts as a form of content, but it's like it encourages it to be like a stunt. In order to get people to pay attention, a lot of times if you do things that are shocking or sort of shatter reality, then you can get people's attention and you can get them to follow. And oh my God, like that Dan Bilzerian guy being the example of somebody who's posing as his own identity, but his posts are also sort of larger than life and kind of reality breaking, where you're like, oh my God, look at this guy's lifestyle. He's got all these guns and like all these women and pools and a private jet and holy shit. So it's like it's posing as it's his personal feed and posts or whatever, but it is content because it's about the kind of character, the idea being that this is a real person and they're living this kind of like lavish, most interesting man in the world kind of lifestyle. Maybe I could do that. I don't know. There's a kind of like presentational preconception to the way that you present yourself through your social media profile that feels kind of at odds with the organic forms that I was talking about. Maybe Instagram being boxes, a feed, a scroll, the endless scroll. It feels like this building, rather than the plant, maybe. Although posts may be some kind of like, they're kind of like cells, they're kind of like chlorophyll, film, and the light passing through. A plant is kind of a camera, the way that it imprints the light and melds with it and is made of it, a photo negative kind of doing the same thing. They kind of look the same. These strands and the spindle holes. That looks like, from what I've seen, chlorophyll and microscopic kind of structures. Transparent kind of, when you see cross sections, they look maybe not that different than steel girders, maybe too. The industrial is natural. New York is natural. I'm scaring everybody away. People come and they sit at tables near me and then they leave because they're like, what the fuck is this guy doing? I don't know. What's with this NYPD, man? If they start smoking weed, are they going to pop out? I doubt it. They probably don't give a shit. I feel like it's important for me to smoke weed in public on my show, so I'm going to do it right now. It does feel like, I don't know. Maybe I should just why not? Why not just really go hard on Instagram? I need an iPhone XLE2 with the fucking 3 lenses. I need to get my selfie stick and my fucking iPhone tripod. I got my iPhone tripod, so that's gonna increase my powers exponentially. Now I don't have to set my iPhone on random stones and shit, that I find just sort of around. I can actually set up intentional compositions. I don't know. Maybe that goes against my organic philosophy, though. The ideas of using chance, of using what's there, that feels kind of important. Rather than, if I got a tripod, it's I might as well be fucking Hollywood or whatever. Get some trailers, get some Haddads, park that shit on the street. I saw some of those in my neighborhood. They're filming Ghost Season 2 or some shit. I don't know if that's a code name, but I was just thinking what it would be like in Ohio if they fucking had big film set trailers and stuff. It'd be kind of weird. Why not? You don't see that shit on TV. Why don't they film a fucking, Netflix series with the decentralization of the hierarchies of the media? Why can't they create, the fucking prestige television throughout the fucking, continental? I guess Atlanta, they do a lot of production in Atlanta. But even Albuquerque, that's a fucking kind of extreme natural environment. That's not just some bland kind of Rust Belt suburbia, which I don't know. I'm picturing a lot of people out there who are watching TV probably can relate to that environment and that kind of landscape and whatnot. So I don't know. Bring these jobs, bring these good union jobs to fucking the heartland. I don't know. I guess they're all going to be influencers and shit, you know? They're all YouTubers. Fucking, I saw an article with, what's that woman who plays the synth? She's amazing. She was on Office Hours with fucking Tim Heidecker. And then she had an interview in fucking Brooklyn Rail. I open up Brooklyn Rail, it's like, holy shit. There's an interview with this synth lady that lives in like fucking rural Ohio someplace, you know? I'm like, in a certain way, it doesn't matter where the fuck you are. I don't know. For me, like I said, I want to be a sponge. I want to be kind of a social absorber. So being the antenna and the transistor feels important to stroll about. Like I said, absorbing these patterns, the newness, the formulations of humanity and our society, how they present themselves here first, maybe. I don't know. It's kind of sad. I mean, I don't hear as much music. I don't see as much kind of chaos and spirited public performance. You know, I don't see as many like rechargeable PA systems everywhere. Maybe I should interview somebody. This girl's got piercings. The Flatiron. Here we are in the Flatiron. Gosh, 43%. What else do we need to cover? There's plenty. What have I been thinking about? This is just like the thought upload. You know, I talked about the fucking Israel-Palestine thing. There does seem to be more vocal opposition to that in the fucking chambers of Congress. A few people have given speeches. Ilhan Omar gave a speech talking about, you know, we can't have these fucking genocidal oppressors committing these heinous acts that are going on right now as we speak. You know, our reality works on so many different levels. There's things that are so consequential happening, you know, at all times. There could be a very real war. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that, you know, Netanyahu feels it's probably his last chance, maybe. And yet, at the same time, we're just trying to return to normal. And it's amazing kind of how fast that's happening, how casual people are being, considering we just spent a year in this sort of like traumatic fear vibration, you know. People are being pretty, oh yeah, I'm kind of busy, I've got a few things going on, I got some work stuff. It's like, Jesus Christ, don't you just want to get together and be like, holy shit, what just happened? What was your experience? Let's, you know, I mean, Jesus Christ, why pretend like we weren't just like all bottled up for 12, 14 months? Let's just be honest with each other. Let's just like have the face-to-face, like heart-to-heart, like let's give each other what we need rather than trying to be cool and act like no big deal. Oh yeah, I'm just meeting up with some friends. I don't know. Are people going out? People going out to like fucking nightclubs and dancing, and I haven't checked out any kind of like indoor band performances or anything. I haven't really heard. You know, do I need to reach out to venues now? Is it too late? Is it already too late? You know, is all the shit already booked and like I missed it. I missed my window of opportunity. We'll find out soon enough. I don't know. The way the outdoor kind of pandemonium, kind of fun, plein air, public performance, public exchange of feelings and emotions, and the release, I guess, getting out of the stay at home, getting out of your apartment, kind of required that all these things take place, and there be kind of like a small town sympathy, maybe not unlike post 9/11, I guess, in New York, when everybody was very friendly, and it's kind of sad to see that get, sucked back into interior spaces, and things just sort of go back to business as usual, kicking everybody off unemployment, telling us to get jobs. Got to go back to work. I don't know. Go back to what? What do we do? What now? My whole plan was to be kind of on the streets, citizen journo. And I'm definitely still going to do that. I feel like I'm going to get to the outdoor performance party, like literally as it is fucking wrapping up. Like it's already kind of over in a way. I think, what did they say? The 19th? May 19th, everything's allowed to just like reopen however the fuck they want to do it. Yeah, that's pretty wild. 5 days from now. I'm doing another series of outdoor events coming up, but I feel totally safe doing that. I know all the people that I am surrounded by are responsible, vaccinated adults. That's why they're my friends. That's why they're who I choose to fucking, socialize with and surround myself with. People that aren't going to kill me because of they're just. I heard this guy sitting right here talking about this fucking thing with the pipeline was fake. He's like, oh yeah, this is like toilet paper last year. I don't know how these people get in fucking New York. There's all these goddamn right-wing psychos. And it's like, this guy's like, I think it was this guy actually right here. I think it was that guy. He's like, oh, this pipeline, because they hacked this pipeline, right? And gas prices are going to go up, right? It's $3 a gallon. It's going to be $4 a gallon because they hacked the pipeline and fucked up the supply or whatever. So this guy thinks that's fake. I don't know. There's a lot of manipulation that's going on. In fact, our whole economy is kind of based on it with the Bitcoin and shit and Tesla and just the trading, Dogecoin, GameStop, whatever. However you want to fucking con people. If you can get away with it, it's legitimate. And the more money you can fucking make out of nothing, conjure out of absolutely nothing, like Madoff. We have a Madoff-based economy, essentially. It's all just a big pyramid. Everybody's just pyramiding everybody else. It's just a big mutual human pyramid going in every direction. It's really just a pile. It's just a big dog pile. We're all suffocating. The real suckers are the people that work for a living, You just got to figure out some kind of, story for yourself to unlock a money where you can just create a life where you can just create money without having to change your time for it, Get money for projects, get money for ideas. I want to be a consultant. my big goal. I'd love to get an honorarium position as a consultant, or I want to be in the think tank. Just get me in there. We'll play with some ideas. We'll innovate. We'll disrupt. I don't think there is any such thing as disruption. I think what disruption is when they turn something into an app. That's fucking disruption. That's like a glamorous word. You know, these tech people, they think they're like in Terminator 2. They think they're like in a James Cameron. It's how they glamorize their nerdy habits growing up. And it was just escapism. They escaped in the science fiction world. So disruption just means like they made an app. Like Uber, all they fucking disrupted. It's like, yeah, because there were taxis. You had to like call them or hail them on the street. Then some fucking people with Asperger's copied and pasted some code and disrupted these fucking people out of their livelihoods and totally rerouted all of their economics through the window of the screen and, you know, Palo Alto, the Bay Area real estate market, essentially. I don't know. As long as I can stay unbothered and I can eat and I don't have to do anything, that's what I hope to maintain for the I saw this book at the Strand dollar rack. It was like the retiree's guide to Manhattan. And at first I was like, I don't need. Then I was like, oh yeah, I do need this. I'm retired. I've been retired since 2012. I retired in 2012 at the ripe old age of 27, and I don't ever plan to go back to work. And I live a very wonderful life as a retiree. I go to a lot of art programming, you know, a lot of matinees. They have special deals for retirees. I don't know. My job is to be social glue. I think on a metaphysical level, the angels and the underlying powers kind of understand that my job is to just like, and I do it well. And I do it in a very small kind of mom and pop scale. I do it on a realistic scale economically. My principle is I don't spend any money I don't have. It's always been my principle. I never use fucking credit cards. I never take out any loans. I never make payments. If I have the money in my bank account, I will buy, and if it's in my budget, which it hardly ever is. I don't really budget any extra money for anything extra. I never buy myself anything that I even need, really. They cost more than like $70 or $80. I can't. That's just like, it's too emotionally intense for me to spend more than $70 or $80 on anything. It's just like, oh, it's devastating to me emotionally. So yeah, as long as I can maintain my livelihood as sort of a extremely low, effective, minimally effective micro influencer. The most micro, the micro. I'm a subatomic influencer, but we're all part of it. We're all part of the continuum of matter and human and matter conceiving of itself and being aware of itself, comprehending itself. That's really all we're here for. Some people can do that on a bigger scale than others. Some people have more influence. Some people become immortal. They just get mechanically reproduced. And sort of our technologies course through different ways of doing that. It used to be Gutenberg Bible. Before that, what was? I don't even know. Word of mouth. What the fuck else did they have? Papyrus. They couldn't mass produce that shit. It wasn't a machine in the same way. So now we have the phone, which makes free publishing to all of humanity possible from anywhere. The center is everywhere. I read that. That was kind of interesting. With the internet, everyone is potentially the center of influence. Everyone has the potential to go viral. Theoretically. I mean, should I make that my goal? Should it just be like, I'm going to do every fucking thing? I'm going to become absolutely determined to go viral. Like, can you reverse engineer it like that? I think that might, just doing this, there's not really, I try not to be results oriented. I've always been told that's kind of a bad approach. It's like, you're just supposed to do things, and then like, if you work and the results. But then I heard this other thing the other day that I think is true, is like, you don't actually accomplish anything without sacrificing something. And that sounds kind of bland, or that sounds kind of like, but I think it's true. Like, you do have to like force yourself out of your comfort zone and go through some kind of pain threshold to really get something. I don't know. Does that pertain to going viral? Or building like a fucking YouTube fan base, for instance? I just had a person get on. They watched for 2 seconds and then they left. Is this work? Is what I'm doing work? It feels slightly difficult. But I would say most things in my life, I sacrifice as little as possible. And maybe that's my problem. Maybe that's why I never level up. You got to lift heavier weights. Just diluting your intention into sort of vague, unemphatic. Like, this is just kind of a leakage. This is just kind of a leak of brain power. This is never going to make me go viral, is it? But if I went viral, it might feed the audience for this. Who knows? So I don't know. If I make that an intention, if I study things that have gone viral, if I pick a niche, like poetry is kind of an excuse for having no audience and being totally ineffective. It's sort of just how you turn your back. It's how you turn your back on everything when they've turned their back on you. When nobody supports what you do, or nobody gets what you're doing, nobody likes it, you kind of just have to say, oh, I'm a poet. Nobody understands me. I'm ahead of my time. But it remains to be seen. I like being in my time right now. Feels good. It's nice weather. Beautiful day. Absolutely perfect. It's not even 3 p.m. I'm on 28%, so I'm coming into the last part of the show here. Thank you for watching. In the future, because nobody's watching right now, my Nielsen share is 0. I don't know. How do I, I'm looking at, I'm signed up for like this comedy fucking open mic group on Facebook, outdoor open mics. Who knows how much longer that'll be going on? Probably not much longer. But all of them cost money. It's all $5 for 5 minutes. Like, that is kind of ridiculous to me. That you got to pay to be on an open mic. Like, I don't know. Could it get it? How do you get from that point to being John Oliver or Bill Maher or whatever? Like, it just feels like I don't even know what ladder I'm on, but like, if I got on that ladder now, like, Jesus Christ, I'm really gonna go to like fucking $5 pay open mics, like comedy open mics, for Christ's sakes. I don't have any material. And I'm not a comedian. I don't want to be funny. I hate comedy. Ryan Reynolds sucks. I want to go on the record as I talked shit about him before. He sucks real bad. There's like this fucking, the thing that sucks about a lot of the newer kind of like murals and stickers that people hang on the wall is they're just so fucking lame. Like, there's like this like poster stuck to the street over off 8th Avenue near my house on like 20th Street or 18th Street or something. And it's literally Ryan Reynolds. But it's like a mugshot. It's like a fake mugshot. And he's like, I think he's in his Deadpool outfit, but it's definitely his head. And you're like, Ryan Reynolds is not like some subversive figure. He's not like a street figure. He's like a very spoiled, pampered douchebag. Like, I would say that he projects kind of entitled, smug. He's sort of like a Chevy Chase, but meets like, I mean, he's not as much of a prick. He's like Dane Cook. He's like a post Dane Cook Chevy Chase. And like the whole Deadpool thing, that was part of the Savage, #Savage. One of the idea with Ryan Reynolds is he's just like, he's #Savage. He tells it like it is, or Deadpool is like, the superhero who, it's sort of like a Trump quality. Like, oh, he's just like so honest, you can't handle it. Beast mode AF. I don't know. It's the weekend, so maybe I'll go to Washington Square Park tonight. Maybe I'll bring my guitar out. I came out because I had to check my email and shit and download some stuff, upload some stuff. Speaking of which, let me just see that this is done. You can watch this premiere tomorrow night, 9 p.m. One Man's Opinion. It's a good episode. And just watch all my old episodes. If you haven't watched those yet, they are timeless. They never age. All of them, the whole library of the past year. That's my work. That's what I've been doing through the pandemic. That's been my my Uber structure. My rhizomatic reaching in all directions. Maybe I should rewatch it. I don't know. I'm trying to be smart about the content and the subjects I cover. I didn't really have a plan today, but I think we got to a lot of different things. Oh, I got some somebody just buzzed me. See who it was, shouldn't we, everybody? Shouldn't we, kids? Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. It's it's my producer. He's watching one of my other shows from a few weeks back, so that's good. I don't know. I'm trying. I'm getting it together. I guess I'm slow. I think slow. This is something I've been thinking about. The Buster Keaton quote: "Think slow, act fast." And when I was on chess team in high school, I love speed chess. Speed chess is my favorite, but I'm not really that good at it. And every time in high school, I was on the team, and it was 30-minute time limit. And every fucking time it would take me. My main problem was I could usually beat people, but sometimes I'd get real down to the wire on the time limit because I would have to take so much time. I mean, when I play chess, I have to consider every single potential move, and like, so it's like I used all the time, it would come down to like the last 5 minutes or whatever, the last 2 minutes. The thing with chess on the clock, and chess clocks are really beautiful. They're one of my favorite parts of chess. For the last 2 minutes, the flag is raised, and like the fucking, if you run out of time, you lose. So a lot of times it would get near the end of the game, and I would be like fighting the clock, because it does take me a long time to, like, if I really want to make things right, like with writing or with art or whatever, it takes me kind of a long time to like really like comb out all the fine tuning and all the details and all of that kind of stuff. Whereas I prefer speed chess, which is sort of what the movie Searching for Bobby Fischer is about, if you've ever seen that movie. He likes playing speed chess in the park with Lawrence Fishburne and all the Potzers, and to fucking Bruce Pandolfini, the legit, Lawrence Fishburne. They're like streets, Washington Square Park. It's street people, it's street hustle, it's head games, it's fast, it's thinking on your feet, talking shit. The academic world, the interior world of the clubs, that's more thoughtful. These World Chess Championship games, they got 6 or 7 or 8. A lot of times they don't even use a fucking clock, I don't think. I think the time limit's like 6 or 7 or 8 hours for World Championship games. The games can go on for days. Like high school chess, not so much. You got half an hour. And I was kind of a slow player, because I can't just like move on a hunch. That leads to mistakes. You need to build strategies. You need to think about form. You need to think about how the pieces are defending each other, how they're defending the territory, what might possibly happen. A computer can go through all those operations really fast. For me, I have to visualize this knight can move here, 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 or can take this, and that can move there. This, I can use this as a support this. So that would take time, And in my life, it's kind of like, so I don't know, speed chess or Bug House. I love Bug House. Bug House is you have 4 people playing on 2 boards. And so I would be black, my partner would be white, and vice versa. And any piece I take from my opponent, I can give to my partner, and they can for a move, they can put it down on their board anywhere. I think that game, it's not, there's an element of chance and like teamwork to that regular chess doesn't have. Regular chess is sort of like, that's why it is a pure test of intellectual power or whatever, because there is no There's no dice. There's no random chance to it. It is all your choice. It's all your decision. Whereas most board games, it's dice or it's, you get dealt certain cards. You have different cards than the other players. Chess, you got the same fucking pieces. I mean, an element is one person moves first and the other person, so that is, something that changes. But I don't know. Speed chess, my chapbook of sonnets was called Speed Chess because it's kind of abstract expressionist. The kind of the hunchiness, the bloodshed that it can occur, the blunders, the flow, the quickness, thinking as smart as you can, as fast as you can. That's like jazz. I don't think that's a bad thing to do or to try. It's not as like rigorous or like high level, perhaps. You have more of an element of like temperament or physicality or that goes into it. You throw your body into it in a different way. But it's one of those things, like, I love it so much, but I've been totally deprived of it. I mean, the last time I played speed chess was probably in 5th grade or something, maybe high school. I certainly never got to play it, and I'm not as good at it. It doesn't really work to my strengths. So I don't know. My whole technique has kind of become speed chess. Kind of just like, oh God, just if you even do it, it's like, okay, hey, I tried. It's all I can do. The fact that I even did it is kind of nuts. The fact that I'm even here doing this. The fact that I'm even out here like live streaming. Okay, nobody's watching. I have no viewership. But whatever. I got to get out and play speed chess anyway. It's my bowling league. And hey, I could hit the lotto at any time. You hit the jackpot. Now they're giving away all this free shit with the vaccines. Like, I saw fucking Laurie Anderson was playing piano one day at Javits Center. Like, oh yeah, come down and get your vaccine. Laurie Anderson plays the piano while you're in line. It's like, wow. Probably would have gone that day. And now they're giving everybody Shake Shack fries. Everybody who gets the vaccine now gets free Shake Shack fries. I didn't get any fries. Like, I would have waited. I don't know. I feel like retroactively, or like, where was it? New York, or was it Ohio? Some place was giving people $100. Seriously, just because they're being babies, just because they're being pouty like conspiracy nutcases, we're gonna cater to them. They get fucking $100. Like, I want it all retroactively. I had to get the Johnson & Johnson. I've been through trauma. I was lied to. Still don't know what the effects of that are going to be. I want some fries. I want $100. I want the chance to win $1 million. All right. Well, we're wrapping up. We're in the red. We're 16%. Thank you for watching. It's Frankly Fabulous live from Frankly Fabulous Plaza, where you can catch a bus anywhere you want. Get your iPhone, Maybe I'll just do a little ambient description to play us out. Little window. Here comes a guy holding his coat in his hand. This lady's smoking a cigarette. Their mask pulled down. She's got a big leather purse. This guy's got a hat that says Brooklyn on it. These guys are eating food with chopsticks. This guy's really cool over here to my left, who has the he sells iPhone cases. Maybe I should buy one for my mom. She was saying she needed a phone case. I don't know what size her phone is, though. Purple flowers. This person is selling hats on little mannequin heads. Nice sun hats. This lady's talking on the phone, walking down the street. These people are drinking bubble tea. There goes a red Mercedes, GMC, black GMC truck. We got orange barrels, orange construction, a lot of construction going on. They're pouring new sidewalks on 9th Avenue. The girl's wearing a peace sign hoodie. I heard the peace sign was invented. Well, it's not important. It's on theme time. Just more theme time shit. Here comes the M14 Select bus via 14th Street. It's an accordion bus. There it goes. A lot of bus drivers park over here when they're kind of off duty, and they just kind of will chill. You'll hear them talking to each other, you know, as they're switching out. I think they switch over. They pull the bus. It's kind of interesting how the city of New York operates amongst the kind of streetscapes where the NYPD parks, where they take their breaks. Like I said, a lot where they park buses, where the bus drivers rest. Like the bus stop cafe is right down here, because a lot of these bus drivers, that's where they change over. That's where their routes end. So you see them in there. I mean, what's cooler than a bus driver? You know, Ralph Cramden, maybe, or Patterson. Maybe I should get a job as a bus driver. You know, it's the people's Uber. It's above ground. You know, the big difference between the bus and the subway in New York, I'll take the bus. I mean, I won't take the bus because it takes longer, but like it's above ground. So you see everything. It's like, you know, they have those double-decker tour buses. You know, the M14 is like a tour bus, except it costs $2, $2.75 or whatever. You know, maybe I should interview this guy. He's looking at me. Here I've been talking for an hour and a half straight. People think I'm crazy. I don't know. What would I have to do to get a bus license? You know? Here comes a truck. A refrigerator truck. I don't know. People just believe too much, like, oh, this gas thing, it's fake. Oh, they're just doing it. It's like the toilet paper thing. It's like, no, it's like, people believe conspiracy. It's like, think about how hard it is to get anything to actually work the way it's supposed to work. Like, even committees of people doing things in public view can barely get shit done. Like, conspiracies, like, people are not that smooth. They're not that competent. Like, especially not the fucking Giuliani, Trump, all those fucking people. Like, they're just stupid as fuck, you know? I mean, it's totally plausible to me that they hacked this pipeline, because what was it, last fucking November, whatever, they had the biggest security breach, like, in the fucking U.S. history or whatever. Like, we've only begun to see the fucking repercussions of that, probably, you know? Here's an HVAC van. This guy's riding by on his. Everybody's got these mountain bikes that are like e-bikes. That's what Jabril was telling me. These e-bikes. And then the fucking hoverboards, man. That's one thing. Like, I'm constantly seeing these tech people just like zooming down Bleak or whatever, you know, 50 miles an hour on their hoverboards, you know. And it's just like, that's pretty crazy. You couldn't do that 20 years ago. You know, as a single person flying down the street like that, hands free. I wouldn't use a fucking hoverboard, but, you know, it's kind of an interesting. I don't see any Segways. That didn't catch on. Haven't seen a single Segway scooter anywhere. But the hoverboard is kind of a Segway. I mean, spiritually, it's basically a Segway. Mechanically, it's basically a Segway. It just doesn't have that podium. That was kind of the weird part of the Segway, the podium. Like, what the fuck? And then the guy died. The guy who invented it, like, drove a Segway off a cliff. It's like, okay, there, you just killed your business, pal. Nobody's going to ever use this shit anymore. But hoverboard, that's just rebranding a Segway. They made it more dangerous, actually. But that's like the ultimate, like, I don't know, douchebag rich guy tool. At least get some rollerblades, get some exercise, you know. A fucking hoverboard may be actually a bit easier to use. The thing about a Segway is when you're getting on, there's always that moment of like, because you're touching the podium. Whereas with the hoverboard, you kind of just, you just get up on it and then it just goes whichever way you go, I think. I don't know. I'm sure people bust their ass hardcore on that all the time. Oh, the other thing, did I mention this one time? The other day I was walking down this street, and this will be the last thing maybe. I'm walking down this street. Did I describe this last time? I think I did, and I hear this fucking crunch all of a sudden. I look over my shoulder, and this guy who was on a fucking scooter had like literally barreled over the handlebars, did a flip into the street. The scooter kept going, and I turned around just in time to see it ram in the back of this fucking car, going like 20 miles per hour. The dude got right up. He was fine, and he got back on the thing, but it was a little bit crazy, to witness that. Did I talk about that on the show before? Trying to get the street life. I'm trying to have happenstance and kind of the city just bleed into the live stream and bleed into the Frankly Fabulous fictional universe. So let me know how we're doing with that. Leave a comment, hit like, hit subscribe. You love it. This is the Frankly Fabulous podcast. We're on 4 times a week. We're on whenever we can be, whenever it's convenient and conducive to my work schedule and the demands of my freelance itinerant jobs. Whenever I feel like I need to be productive and get some immediate productivity gratification, I go out and I just do a little live stream writing sesh. We're on 9%. We're bringing it home. Thank you for watching WFLF Live from Manhattan in the good old days, 2021. It's a whole new world. It's a brave new world. We're kicking ass. I really think the post-pandemic world is going to be ethical, and the people have the power, and they're going to put their queer shoulders to the wheel and change this motherfucker and make it ethical and make it fair. We don't need this. We don't need this hoarding abundance. The wealth can be spread. We can all be rich. It's a Frankly Fabulous dogma. That's a Frankly Fabulous message. Frankly Fabulous motto. We can all be rich. Stay magnificent. You're marvelous. We'll talk soon. Good night, my sweet, sweet viewers, my sweet followers. I'm the Uber influencer.